it's less today than it was several months ago. And compared to last year, it's quite a bit less. Even the two-bedroom suite that I'm staying in, it's less. Okay? It's about $80 per night less today than it was for last year. Change started happening. But I want to read a few things. Why are these layoffs going to hit U.S. cities first? Well, it's because of tourism. It's because of the cost of housing. It's because of tech jobs leaving the area. People moving out of the United States, whether it's because they're just trying to just give up their U.S. citizenship. They don't want to deal with the taxes. They don't like politics, whatever it may be. Or there's a lot of issues regarding ICE raids and deportations. Now, I'm not getting that today, but we've seen it in Los Angeles. We've seen it in the Seattle area, where food vendors are not showing up to their street corners that they used to work. They're not going there. You go down to Pike Place Market in Seattle, and you don't see the normal people. You don't see the people selling the tamales, the people selling the raspados and things like that. You don't see it. They're gone. Now, yes, there's still some. They still have the main vendors, but the majority. Okay. Now, that's just regarding deportations. Here's what things we're getting interested in.
Security chief to new arrivals.
Look at Los Angeles, for example. Most vendors, they're not outside their arenas like they used to.
Command center.
Whether it's down in
Most everyone else is
for a Laker game,
You've got eyes.
Dodgers game,
Look, we need to get this situation under control ASAP. Ready for anything.
You look in New York City, congestion pricing, that's hurting the many vendors. It's hurting many small businesses. Small businesses are the ones that are struggling. The large corporations, they're just fine. They can weather the storm. They pay. And I told you this 2 years ago. I told you this a year ago as well. Yeah, what we were about was a massive shift. Massive shift away from these large corporations that hire people. And you still see it. Companies still say they're hiring, looking for workers. Right? Here in Las Vegas, you see it all the time. Okay? Just from what I've seen, see several people, several businesses that say now hiring. Okay? Acquire locations. But then you look on the news, like, you are hiring. Right? You excited about a potential job opportunity.
If you were full of booze, you'd be more helpful.
Hold on, just wait. Because there's going to be an opening very soon. You don't know where.
About fucking time someone dealt me a winning hand.
For more than 70 years, the U.S. government has purchased surplus grains from American farmers and sent them overseas to feed hungry communities from Africa and Asia, South America, and Ukraine. The program is called Food for Peace, and in 2022, it provided 4 billion pounds of 58 million. And tonight, all that is in jeopardy after the Trump administration suspended the foods funding for USAID. Hundreds of millions of dollars in tons of wheat, lentils, and rice are stuck in ports and warehouses across America and around the globe. We're joined now by Kansas farmers Vance and Louise. Their farm produces grain and ultimately makes it overseas. Not so much more time. Vance, let's start with you. Your wheat farm has been in the family since the 1880s. How does it make you feel to know your grain has gone to help people who so desperately needed it overseas?
Well, we do have a humanitarian and moral obligation to help, get food to these food deficient areas. It's also really good for development goodwill with the United States.
And Senator Jerry Moran says the stock shipments have resumed, but taking a step back, if this program ultimately goes right, what impact will it have on your farm?
Well, USAID annually buys about $2 billion worth of surplus ag products like food and grains that I grow right here on the farm. And that does help support net farm income. And by the way, we're having a real crisis out here in terms of income. Kansas State University economists say the cost of producing wheat is $2 a bushel higher than what corn is currently giving us. So any market like through USAID is definitely.
Tonight, potential prime ministers for Canada in how to handle Donald Trump. Expensive. If we have finance,
the sovereignty and independence of our country.
and we break down what it is critical minerals over the U.S. president. On snow, on snow, on snow. It's disoriented. You can't see anything. Another winter storm tumbles
I want like every game.
As it eyes its teeth of its own.
From CBC News, this is The National with Ian Hanamansi.
As the country faces down threats from the U.S., Canadians now have a fresh look at two politicians seeking to lead the country. Pierre Poilievre and Mark Carney, giving his first national Canadian interview since launching his Liberal leadership bid to CBC News. Carney said he has the experience and expertise to face the crisis. That appearance on the heels of a rally for Poilievre, where he showcased a new message. Poilievre vowed to restore the country's promise, declaring he will never leave the 51st state. The tasker shows us Carney's message was called out.
Liberal leadership contender Mark Carney says he has what it takes to go toe-to-toe with U.S. President Donald Trump.
Why am I here now?
I'm interested in moving around, moving away the people who have made really bad decisions. For example, on the nutrition guidelines, people there's people at NIH that were involved in the amyloid plaque scandals that derailed Alzheimer's treatment for 20 years. It's all corruption. Those kind of people need to be moved.
Robert F. Kennedy Jr. discussing his plan, the National Institutes of Health, and its employees as the newly sworn in Secretary of Health and Human Services. More on this, and the removal of the vaccine mandate. We welcome Dr. Robert Redfield, who previously was the head over at the CDC as well. Doctor, so great to have you with us this afternoon. There are a number of directions we can take this conversation, but in the interest of brevity, I think it's important that we acknowledge there are millions of Americans who are incredibly, intensely interested in what's going to be happening at HHS with Bobby Jr. Over at the helm. What's your impression of what you're hearing, not just from your friends in the administration, but also broadly in the medical community about the change?
Yeah, I think RFK will become the most consequential health secretary our nation's ever had. He clearly is on a mission to, as he points out, to make America healthy again. It's very sad that really what's happened over the last 30, 40, 50 years is our nation's become progressively sicker. One of the reasons we lost 1.2 million people during the first couple of years of the COVID outbreak, in many other nations lost far fewer because we're a sick nation. And I think Kennedy has a really good plan on how to address chronic disease, including highly processed foods and the dyes and the additives in our food, but also getting our research programs to focus on improving our way we treat and manage chronic disease. Begin to hurt our current system, which I've been part of for now almost 45 years, which is a disease system. Let's convert it to a health system so that we recapture the American public so that they're healthy. It's hard to believe that over 50% of adults in America have chronic disease. It's even harder to believe that 77% of our young people that want to join the military can't pass the medical exam. It's really time to have an aggressive transformation of our approach towards healthcare, and I think Kennedy's going to do that.
Yeah, I think that's the sense, certainly from laymen like myself. We hear and we read different things about his perspectives, and it seems like change is afoot. I do want to share this. This was part of a conversation, Doctor, between Robert Kennedy Jr. and our Laura Ingram, talking about the impact Big Pharma is also having on our health outcomes. Listen to this.
But I noticed in my head, and we have a generic list of the kind of people that, if involved in science, you have nothing to worry about. If you care about public health, you have nothing to worry about. If you're in there working for the pharmaceutical industry, then I'd say you should move out and work for the pharmaceutical industry.
He's talking about the impact that Big Pharma has had, not just on our health outcomes, but also on our prospects to try new and different approaches to making Americans healthy again. Understand where he's coming from?
Yeah, I think there's a concern that RFK has that a number of these agencies, he uses the term corporate capture, that they're much more engaged in the priorities of the private sector, in this case Big Pharma, than they are in the general issue of trying to research and improve health. It's interesting that one of the things that negatively impacts the pharmaceutical industry is obviously if we figure out how to effectively treat something without medication. We have a health system right now whose answers to most problems are medication. We've seen that with mental health programs, etc. I think Kennedy is really going to be aggressive in trying to advocate that a fresh look at the way we approach disease management and chronic disease. And I think it's going to be a breath of fresh air.
I think a lot of Americans, frankly, are really ready for that, and the idea that the Trump administration is saying, listen, you can't compel people to take the COVID-19 shot in order to go to school. That changed too long. Make a difference, I suspect. Dr. Roger, thank you so much for your time today, sir. We certainly appreciate it.
Thanks for having me. God bless.
Thank you. God bless.
I'm sure shit doing my part.
Joining us now is Texas Senator Ted Cruz, extremely well-respected lawyer in his own right. Senator, great to see you. Describe the first 3 weeks.
Always good to be with you.
Yeah, and the blocking, and the no tackling, but the legal blocking of the Democrats.
Well, look, I got to say, in the history of our country, we've never had a first 3 weeks of a president like we have had now. It has been shock and awe. President Trump hit the ground running, and you look at what's being done, the executive orders to secure the border, putting Marines down our southern borders, sending ICE out to arrest murderers and rapists and child molesters and Venezuelan gang members. You look at the energy deregulations, ending the war on energy to drive down the price of gasoline and everything else that consumers are struggling. You look at standing with our friends and allies, demanding that Hamas return the Israeli terrorists and return the hostages and getting those hostages returned back. Across the board, they've been hitting the ground running, and that it doesn't even begin with no even Elon Musk highlighting abuse after abuse after abuse. And listen, Brian, I got to say, the entire effort, Elon is playing a critical role. It really is embodying the old Silicon Valley mantra of move fast and break things. They're doing a lot of things, and everything they do, they're getting sued. The Democrats hate it all. They want to stop it all. And so we are going to see hundreds and hundreds of lawsuits from Democrat attorneys general, from
the so-called Department of Government Efficiency that really is Department of Government Efficiency for Elon Musk, not for
Waste at the DOGE Oversight Subcommittee hearing, Weaver some strong stances from the very start. More scrutiny on the temporary agency to be expected. Joining us is Representative Blanchett of Tennessee, who was there at the subcommittee meeting this past week. Representative, always good to see you. Thanks for being here.
Thank you. It's a pleasure being here.
Subcommittee Chairwoman Martin Green vowing to fight for more ways to take away the DOGE Oversight Subcommittee.
Very informative. We have, of course, spent all their time attacking President Trump, Elon Musk, and Republicans. Of course, we ask legitimate questions about the waste, abuse, and overspending of our
All aboard Weaver's Death Express.
tunnel is fantastic. The crowd is amazing. I love that sport. They have wonderful people that run it.
Word of warning.
And the ring delay, go home and watch it, I guess. And some of you
Killing shouldn't be the season.
try and create peace
Not
around
that
the
I'm
world.
complaining.
Do you have any questions? We're trying to get a peace with Russian Ukraine, and we're working very hard on it. It's a war that should have never started.
Do you expect Zelensky to be involved in this conversation? What will his
Yeah,
role
I do.
be?
He will be involved, yes.
Would you allow Europeans to buy U.S. weapons for Ukraine?
Yeah.
Today that Russia is going to wage war on NATO. Do you agree with that? Do you have any concerns about?
I don't think not even a little bit.
Russia's advanced that the United States would potentially take military action against Russia if they won't come to an agreement. Do you agree with that stance?
I don't know if that's what he said. I don't think he said that.
Based on your conversation with President Putin, what do you think he wants ultimately?
I think he wants to stop fighting. I see that. We spoke long and hard. Steve Witkoff was with him for a very extended period, like about 3 hours. I think he wants to stop fighting.